remember in that song, Something in the Way, and you wrote that line, it's okay to eat fish because they don't have any feelings. Well, that's self-sacrificial bullshit. Classic Pisces. Your feelings were as deep as the ocean. We loved you for it. This is your birth chart. It's a map of the galaxy from the moment that you were first born. I want to read it to you. I want to tell you how the spirits saw you and how we all still remember you. That's Pisces. And that's the sun. The sun is the brightest part of us. It's our vitality, our light, our personality. A Pisces sun is magical, sensitive, psychic. It's a full house in Pisces. Along with the sun, there's Mercury, your intelligence, Chiron, your pain, Venus, your love, and Saturn, your lesson. They're all setting on the western horizon in your 7th house, where you relate to other people. Over here in Cancer is the moon. The moon loves it in Cancer. They're a water sign too, but they're much more direct, protective, and they lash out if folks they love are threatened. Your moon sign is your body, where it came from and what it needs. Hey Jupiter, that's your hope. Over on the eastern horizon, the sign Virgo was rising, filling up your soul with its intention and setting up your first house where you find yourself. Virgo's an earth sign and they can be kind of stubborn, kind of obsessive, but like Pisces, they can be impressionable too, malleable, like clay. Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. Nearly all of your planets are in water signs. That's a lot of feeling. You can read a birth chart with the tarot too. Each sign of the zodiac has a card from the major secrets that belongs to it. The major secret for Pisces is the moon. There's a dog and a fox howling at the moon. A pair of wild animals in touch with their instinct. You can see there's something emerging from below the depths too. Sometimes it feels safer in the dark, doesn't it? Pisces aren't afraid of the dark. The card helps us reconcile our duality. We can be a good boy, or we can be a wild beast. Either way, it's okay to howl. The major secret for Cancer is the Chariot. You've got to be brave to ride the chariot. You've got to trust it. You've got to go with the flow. You've got to feel the motion in the ocean. The chariot gets high on a feeling. Your Cancer moon looks pretty brave to me. Your body is a bit of a thrill seeker, I reckon. When it comes to love, the chariot's gonna chase it to the end. The major secret for your Virgo soul is the Hermit. Some people are embarrassed when they see the Hermit. It can remind them of times when they were hiding, when they cut themselves off or shut themselves in. It can remind them of their loneliness. But the Hermit's not lonely. The Hermit has taken themselves away intentionally to learn, to open up their channel, to what Spirit's trying to tell them, to make all of that magic out there in the ether tangible, real, to bring it back to earth. The hermit's really good at practicing, at repetition. Now in the tarot, like in music, there's majors and minors. The minor key for your Pisces sun is the 8 of Cups. The cups, like the water signs, speak to our feeling. You can see there's a big collection of feelings there. Some folks, when they look at this, they think, oh, that person's abandoning these feelings. They're leaving us. They're going away. Other folks look at it and think, well, I can see that there's one cup missing in that collection. Maybe this person's going on a trip to find it, to bring it back. The minor key for your moon sign in Cancer, your bravery, it's the 3 of Cups. Love the number 3. A lot of cool things can happen in 3s. We can start a band. We can start a family. We can hold our sisters. We can create with 3. There's a great collaboration that happens in 3. Lots of celebration too. It's nice to share how you feel with those that you love. And that's what this card wants us to do. The minor key for your rising sign, your Virgo, it's the 10 of Pentacles. Our home, the womb, in utero, someplace safe, someplace warm, where we won't be bothered, where we can be ourselves, where we can be vulnerable. You can see there's an alleyway in the back of this card. The streets where we live. So many of us are looking for a home, looking for a safe space to land, looking for somewhere that we can be ourselves. So, these are your birth cards. The Chariot, the Moon, the Hermit, the 3 of Cups, the 8 of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles. What a journey. What a quest. What a load of feelings. In the ancient times, there was a centaur, half man, half horse, child of the gods. His name was Chiron. He had eternal life, and so he put it to the best use that he could. He learned about everything. There was no stopping his brain wanting to absorb information, wanting to implant it into his psyche. He learned the healing arts. He learned about philosophy. He devoted all his time trying to heal others with his work. Now the story goes that Chiron was shot with a poison arrow. The pain was excruciating. But because of Chiron's immortality, he couldn't die. And so he searched and searched, trying to find the salve to heal this wound. But try as he might, he couldn't find it. And his suffering grew so intense that it blocked out any other feeling. There's a key to our unconscious suffering in our birth chart. Your Chiron placement is in Pisces, in your 7th house of how you relate to others. It shows us that we can ask for help. It It shows us where we can't heal on our own, nor should we have to, and that sometimes we try and numb out the pain. The planets in our chart have a way of interacting with each other. Chiron is affecting the base of your chart, a place where you should feel like you belong, your fourth house of family and privacy, where you came from. Aberdeen, Washington in the 70s sucked. Not the place for someone so creative, so sensitive. There's only so much rejection one person can take. Over in Pisces, Chiron's affecting Mercury too. The way that you communicate with others, the way that you speak. But look who's helping your Pisces sun. Water sign to water sign. Mars is showing you ways to communicate with your body language. Mars in Scorpio is really sexy, primal, hot. Scorpio takes care of your third house, and in the ancient times it was called the house of the goddess. It's a place where we enact ritual, a place where we worship. The pressure you feel in the ways that you're publicly perceived is coming from both sides. Chiron in Pisces on one side, and on the other, it's Uranus, the rebel in Virgo. Do you see that sickle? That series, how we were nurtured. You can have nothing in common with your caregivers and still commit to loving them. Do you see the dragon? It's headed for Taurus in your house of the gods. Your hunger to understand the meaning of life is insatiable. Your Cancer moon is in the 11th house of your humanitarian spirit. That's really public. Some folks with the moon in the 11th house have been taught that their needs are less important than the needs of other people. Cancer moons have a strong parental instinct too. They crave to nurture others in the way that they might like to have been nurtured. Back to Uranus. You can say Uranus if you want. Back to the rebel. For the longest time, humanity thought that Saturn was the outer limits of the galaxy until a telescope was invented with enough power to see Uranus. Uranus flips the script on everything that we knew before. Your Uranus is right next to Pluto, the lord of the underworld, the planet of power and destruction. And Uranus is at exactly the same degree as your eastern horizon, your rising sign. The rebel spirit has been with you since you were born. Our charts can interact with the charts of other people too. Look at the dragon. It's chomping down on Francis Farmer's Taurus moon, urging you to understand the lived experience of other bodies. Frances Farmer was a Virgo sun too, and her sun sits right on your rising sign, right on your Uranus. Rebel heart kindred spirits, and using Farmer's own words, what a pair of cocksuckers. Courtney was born just before a Cancer new moon, teaching her to rely on her instinct alone and encouraging you to do the same. Do you see that flower in Leo? That's your Juno. That's your commitment. Courtney's Mercury is in exactly the same place as that commitment. She's been burning a candle and carrying the weight of your loss for all of these years. She's kept everything, keeping your memory alive and taking the force of every blow. That spear in the idol place is Athena, born from the head of her father, in full army regalia, no childhood, ready to battle. It's in the same place as Frances Bean's Aries moon. Some folks with an Aries moon feel that they were raised by caregivers that were unprepared, and perhaps in some ways they had to raise themselves. But don't worry, Frances Bean is a Leo's son, bold like a lion. She can handle it. She's handling it really well. And it turns out she's a Virgo rising too. You'd be so proud of her. She is so beautiful. She's got your face. And Courtney's too. She's an artist, and she's married now. And she holds the responsibility of your legacy with reverence and with a really healthy boundary. She knows what you meant to so many of us. And she's really proud of you. Courtney's doing better than ever. It's been really tough for her, but she's a fucking champion. She's a survivor. And she's the last bitch standing. You're so missed. You're so loved. It's been 30 years since you passed, and you still hold such a special place in so many people's hearts. Your work, your words, and your spirit meant so much to us, Kurt Cobain. We love you. And while we're really sorry that you're gone, we're really happy to have known you. And you can trust that through your music, through your writing, and through stories from those that knew you, your spirit lives on and on and on and on and on and on